He was beaten so badly by a group of classmates that he ended up in the hospital, thrown down a flight of concrete stairs, then kicked in the head repeatedly until he lost consciousness. He was just a teenager, sent to recover for a week after the attack. Today, that same boy owns two of the most valuable and important companies on the entire planet. This is the story of Elon Musk. He was born in 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. As a child, he was unusually intelligent but deeply awkward socially, the kind of kid who preferred reading entire encyclopedias cover to cover over, playing outside with other children. He has said that as a young boy, he would sometimes get so lost in his own thoughts that people around him assumed something was wrong with his hearing because he simply wouldn't respond. That kind of difference made him an easy target. Throughout his school years, Musk was bullied relentlessly, not the occasional teasing every kid experiences, but sustained, violent abuse. In the most severe incident, a group of boys cornered him at school, beat him until he was unconscious, and then threw him down a set of concrete stairs. He was hospitalized for it and had to take time off school to recover from his injuries. He's described those years as some of the most painful of his life. At home, things weren't much gentler either. He has spoken publicly, though carefully, about a difficult and strained relationship with his father growing up, describing his childhood overall as generally unhappy. By the time he turned 17, Musk had made a decision. He was leaving South Africa, and he wasn't coming back. Using his mother's Canadian citizenship, he moved to Canada completely alone, with very little money and no real safety net. He took whatever work he could find just to survive, including a physically grueling job shoveling grain at a lumber mill and cleaning boiler rooms. Eventually, he made his way into a Canadian university and later transferred to the University of Pennsylvania in the United States to study physics and economics. After graduating, rather than taking a stable corporate job like most of his peers, Musk co-founded a small software company called Zip2 with his brother, essentially an early online city guide service. They ran it on a shoestring budget, reportedly sleeping in the office and showering at a local gym because they couldn't afford separate living space. In 1999, Zip2 was sold to Compaq for over $300 million, a life-changing amount of money for a company that had started with almost nothing. Instead of stepping back to enjoy that success, Musk immediately poured nearly all of his money into a new venture, an online financial services and payments company called X.com, which would later merge with a competitor and become PayPal. This is where his story takes a brutal, humbling turn. In 2000, while Musk was CEO of the newly merged company, internal tensions over technical direction and strategy came to a boiling point. While he was away on his honeymoon, the board of directors voted him out of the very company he had helped build and lead. He reportedly learned he'd lost control of PayPal while still on the flight home. For most people, being pushed out of your own company on your honeymoon would be the end of the story, a painful, humiliating chapter you never fully recover from. For Musk, it was only the beginning of an even bigger gamble. When PayPal was sold to eBay in 2002 for $1.5 billion, Musk's personal payout was roughly $180 million. Rather than investing conservatively or retiring early, he did something that seemed financially reckless to almost everyone around him. He poured nearly the entire sum into two brand new industries that experts openly called impossible: private space rockets and electric cars. He founded SpaceX in 2002, aiming to eventually make space travel affordable enough to help humanity become a multi-planetary species. It did not go smoothly. The first rocket launch failed, so did the second, so did the third. Each failure burned through millions of dollars in public credibility. By 2008, after 3 consecutive failures, Musk was running out of both money and time. He later admitted that during this period, both SpaceX and his other growing company, Tesla, came within just a few weeks of complete bankruptcy at the exact same time. He has said he was personally borrowing money from friends just to cover basic living expenses, all while pouring what little he had left into keeping both companies alive. Then, in September of 2008, on the 4th attempt, SpaceX successfully launched a rocket into orbit, becoming the first privately funded company in history to accomplish that feat. Just weeks later, NASA stepped in and awarded SpaceX a contract worth $1.6 billion, effectively saving the company at what Musk has described as the very last possible moment. Tesla's near collapse happened almost simultaneously. The company was saved only by an emergency funding round that closed on Christmas Eve of 2008, mere hours before Tesla would have completely run out of money and shut down for good. From that razor's edge moment onward, both companies transformed the industries they were built to disrupt. SpaceX went on to become the first private company to send astronauts to the International Space Station, something previously only accomplished by national governments. Tesla became the most valuable automaker in the world by market value, forcing the entire global auto industry to take electric vehicles seriously for the first time. The boy who was beaten unconscious and thrown down a staircase, who fled his home country as a teenager with almost nothing, who was voted out of his own company while on his honeymoon, and who came within weeks of losing everything not once but twice at the same time, became one of the wealthiest and most influential entrepreneurs in modern history. Next up, a man who started with nothing but a dream, faced rejection after rejection, and was told by almost everyone that his idea would never work. What he built next changed an entire industry forever. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss this one.